Mr. Adams Oshiomole, the suspended national chairman of the APC. I guess you can hear me now, Comrade Oshiomole. So I was asking, what have you instructed your lawyers to take the decision to go to the Supreme Court to appeal this ruling of the appeal court?
I think I spoke to that. I said, what I do next will be based on my legal advice. And my lawyers will act on that. I don't think I need to communicate it through the television. It's a relationship between a lawyer and his client. And I think we should leave it at that. As for what I heard my brother, Victor, was saying, until 7 p.m. yesterday, and only because I was in court, I remained the chairman of the APC. And before then, the governor of Edo State had voluntarily resigned from his membership of our party, and that resignation has since been accepted. The screening has been completed, and all that was left was done today by members of the NWC. We are 21 members. Since the court suspended me or upheld what they describe as the suspension by my word, and that is another matter, I did not attend that meeting in obedience to the court of law, to the judgment of the Court of Appeal. But the Court of Appeal did not suspend the functioning of the National Working Committee. And the constitution of the party states clearly, in the absence of the chairman, who act as chairman and the rest of it. And the National Working Committee, I'm told, and I read in the media as well, met, and about 16 out of 20 took some decisions to ensure that all attempt to scuttle the forthcoming primaries in Edo was not done, was not successful, and they went ahead to appoint primary election committee that will conduct the election. And to ensure that it is done creditably, they appoint in their wisdom a governor to chair the panel as the returning officer, along with other eminent members of the party that have been given that assignment by the NWC that sat today. I was not there because, as I said, in obedience to the court order, I have to stay away. But my advice to my brother Victor is about common sense. In the absence of the chairman, there is nothing in our rules, and the courts can only interpret the rules of the party and the Constitution of Nigeria. I mean, it serves to common sense. If the chairman is absent, it should be the deputy. In the absence of the deputy, it is the vice chairman. How does the deputy secretary come in? As we speak, we have a secretary sitting in the office, working late hours to ensure that the secretariat function. I think that my brother, deputy, who I just spoke to, Victor Giadom, wants to take our party to the root of Rivers State, where they created so much problem that as we speak today in Rivers, we have crisis. My plea with them is that they should put God first and put our national party interests second and put our democracy deep in their heart and not try to use any externalities to destabilize our party the way it has been destabilized in Rivers State. Everybody knows, including the overall leader of our party, President Muhammadu Buhari, that we ought to try to resolve issues amicably as provided for within the constitution of our party. How can a deputy national chairman, assuming he was still one, claim to be chairman? So for me, these are not my problems now. What really concerns me at this point, just even if I'm not an officer of the party, I remain a member, and I'm very familiar and conversant with the provisions of the Constitution.
Comrade Oshiomole, apologies to Button, because we need to take a break. But when we come back, we still ask you a few questions around what is happening in the party and the way forward, and of course, where you stand in the midst of all of that. We take a break, and when we come back, we hear again from Comrade Adams Oshiomole. We have a panel to dissect the issues ahead of the Edo governorship election. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I bring to your notice that on the 16th of March 2020, Honorable Justice S.U. Bature, in suit number FCT/HC/N6447/2020, had ordered that the suspension of Comrade Ali Oshomole, I, Chief Honorable Victor Yadon, should act as national chairman of our great party. That order could not be immediately effected at that time because of the temporary reprieve Adam Oshomole got from the Court of Appeal on the same date. However, having removed the temporary reprieve yesterday by the Court of Appeal, and considering the fact that we cannot allow for a vacuum, I most humbly inform you that I have assumed office as the national chairman of our great party in compliance with the order of the court. As your acting national chairman and presiding officer in the National Working Committee, we therefore cancel the decision of the Screening and Appeal Committee of the former chairman of the party on the Edo primaries.
On this chair, we sit. When the conversation needs to be frank, we sit.
There is enough work for God to do, but we haven't done our own share. In our daily conversations now, there is too much God.
When it needs to be truthful, we sit.
We are making progress. Are we making progress as much as we should? No.
When it demands the unafraid, we sit.
You cannot circumscribe somebody's rights. People have a right to say, I don't want to be in this country.
When inspiration is the motive,
I believe there is a drive, a hunger that Nigerians seem to have that just takes them to the top.
We sit on this chair for hard copy. Fridays at 8:30 p.m. only on Channels Television.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us tonight. We're looking at the crisis rocking the leadership of the APC, and I've been speaking with the suspended national chairman of the party, Comrade Adams Oshomole. Thank you so much, Comrade Oshomole, for talking to us tonight. So give us a sense of what you will be doing right now in the midst of all of this.
Well, I didn't hear the last part of your statement, but let me see. If you ask me what I'm doing now, I'm resting in obedience to the court order. I'm reflecting, and I'm consulting with my lawyers. And I'm satisfied that I'm doing what I should be doing. But however, this point needs to be made, just for the benefit of our teaming members and even for the Nigeria public who are interested on how political party functions in our country. Our party is not an armed force organization. It is a structured organization based on rules and regulations and on the basis of a constitution which was registered with INEC and on the basis of which we transact the business of APC. I was suspended, or I was allegedly suspended by a ward, and the Court of Appeal in its wisdom has now upheld that suspension. The NWC as an organ of the party was never taken to court. There is no judicial pronouncement to the effect that NWC no longer exists. The court has not frozen the constitution of APC. The court actually yesterday quoted copiously sections of the APC constitution. And for me, the business of APC will be transacted as a member, the business of APC can only be managed on the basis of the constitution of the APC. I think there are people who are determined to hide under this crisis to perpetuate their own agenda. How, just listening to Mr. Victor saying that he has decisions to screen, the panel is appointed by NWC. The appeal panel is appointed by NWC. The decision to accept the recommendation is taken by NWC. Right. That NWC is valid. It is not taken by one man. It borders on the height of, I don't want to use the word mischief on my otherwise a good brother. It is unfair for him to think that anybody, including myself inclusive, whether in suspension or out of suspension, even as a city chairman, I do not have the power, and I have never exercised such power to set aside decisions taken by the National Working Committee. No individual can set aside the decision of the National Working Committee. And I'm shocked that Mr. Victor can claim, you know, as a Deputy National Secretary, whose position is even in contest, whether having resigned from the office and he has not been represented, renominated back. You don't walk out of your job, you resign, we accept the resignation, you return back. But this is a matter for another day. But assuming he was even a substantive legal Deputy National Secretary, I think that, or according to him, he has now been posed as acting chairman by whatever authority he has quoted, that gives him power as a sole administrator, like a military administrator, to set aside decisions democratically taken with minutes in place. As we speak, the real secretary is in the office. So I just want to appeal that if anybody wants to create confusion within the party, the media should not aid such person. Look critically at the constitution of the APC.
We need to leave it at that, Comrade Adams Oshiomole. And I must sincerely thank you for your time tonight on the program and wish you the very best in the coming days.